get to the Lakers' newest trade target in a second, but first you got to see this. AAU team Arkadelphia Bulldogs guard Jakari Livingston with a big alley-oop.
Jakari can play for the Lakers, Jenna.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Look at this. And the little fella gets out the way smartly. You notice this, he says no.
Man, he jumped over the guy.
Absolutely.
More from Jakari, this time airborne
out the way.
over two guys.
Stays on his feet, though.
Get out the way.
This guy is a sophomore in high school.
Wow. Man, these young athletes.
I'm being told he's 6'1"? A 6'1" sophomore doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that guy right there is about 5'4". Boom time.
Poor guy.
All right, Mets-Dodgers, Cody Bellinger throwing out Carlos Gomez at third base. Watch it.
Check out my boy Cody.
Cannon from Wright. Boom.
Nice timing.
Look at that.
Little crow hop.
Perfect.
Check out the tab. Right on the caboose going past.
Love it.
All right, little crow hop. That's a crow hop. Throws a BB.
Hand to God. This morning, I get to the makeup room. I look over Chris Carter's shoulder, see what he's doing on his phone. He's reading an article about Cody Bellinger. And I said to him, I was like, how's that going to help you for the show today? He said, never know. Got to see what's going on in the sports world. And now Cody Bellinger shows up in the highlights.
How you think I've been doing TV long as you've been alive, Nick?
Good for you, Chris Carter. I was not reading about Cody Bellinger. It's the first time I saw that.
Not great.
Here we go. NBA Finals get underway Thursday, and for the first time since 2010, LeBron James will not be playing in those finals, which means we will shift the focus on who LeBron could be playing with next season. Perhaps Bradley Beal? The Wizards are reportedly open to a trade, but they would want Lonzo Ball included in the package. Nick Wright, should the Lakers try to trade for Bradley Beal?
It's an interesting alternative option. And I did not want the Lakers to trade for Bradley Beal during the season because it would remove their ability to, for all intents and purposes, sign a max free agent in the beginning of July this offseason. But once free agency hits, if they, to steal something from the Cody Bellinger line of thinking, strike out a few times, then maybe you go to your alternative options, which is a player a little below the tier you were hoping for that you also have to give up assets for. The reason you don't mind giving up assets in an Anthony Davis trade is you are getting a top-tier, top-level player. Bradley Beal just had the best season of his career. I think he fits beautifully with LeBron. He's the exact type of player you would want around LeBron, a guy who can run an offense on his own, but also is a knockdown shooter and is a quality defender. So I like the fit there. Now, if you're telling me the Lakers sequence it to where they sign a Kyrie Irving and then trade for Bradley Beal, well, now the offseason is an A+. Now you've hit it out of the park, to continue the tortured metaphor. But if they end up having to settle on missing on the free agents and then giving up young assets for Bradley Beal, that would mean, even if the team can compete next year, that this offseason didn't go the way they had laid out 12 months ago.
Right now in the NBA, Jenna, nothing's more overvalued than young assets. And that's being people like Ball, people like Ingram, young players who we haven't seen their overall development. They're out of that stage where we're projecting Ben Simmons. Like we keep projecting, oh, what's he going to be? So right now, I mean, the league and the executives, all these guys are overvalued. But right now, and just talking to some people, and I know Nick is on the scene, the Lonzo Ball, LeBron James combination, not only from a skill set standpoint, because let's just say Lonzo is not a true point guard, but he's a lockdown defender. He can knock down some shots from a three-point range. If we get his free throws squared away, what about being partnered with LeBron? Because Magic needed guys like Byron Scott, Cooper to come off the bench to be able to lock up guys and take some of that pressure so they can play the style. I just believe as LeBron ages, Lonzo becomes a more important asset to the Lakers because you need a lockdown point guard in that Western Conference. And I believe that what they're going through off the court as far as their relationship, LeBron mentoring him, Lonzo spending more time with LeBron, I just believe just be careful. Because right now would be the time that Lonzo, I believe, is going to play his best basketball.
But it's hard to imagine any trade involving AD or Bradley Beal without having to give up Lonzo Ball. But, Nick, you talk so much about where guys are and what tiers they are and what would be best for the Lakers. Break down a little bit who are the available free agents out there and what would be best for the Lakers and what.
Well, let's show the free agents plus let's include Beal and Anthony Davis, who are potential trade targets. And to me, it's pretty clear. Like there's tier 1, and Durant and Kawhi are clearly at the top of that. And with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving following them, you could argue Kyrie should be is tier 1.5, but that's your first tier options. Tier 2 is that next level of player, 3 of whom bring a somewhat, or at least 2 of whom, Clay and Beal, a somewhat similar skill set. Kimba brings that same skill set without the defense. Jimmy Butler brings a lot more defensively, less shooting than any of the other 3 guys. And then tier 3 is break glass in case of emergency. If you're down to Boogie Cousins, Tobias Harris, and we're not even going to include the tier 4, which is like the Nikola Vucevic's of the world, who are nice players in their own right, but cannot be the second best player on a championship level team. I would, in a heartbeat, give up Lonzo Ball for Bradley Beal if that were my third move my third star, my second move of free agency. I'd give up everyone for Anthony Davis as my first move of free agency. The Lakers' best hope right now is that LeBron and Kyrie are coming to an agreement, and that they can sequence the events to where you can sign Kyrie and then do the trade for Anthony Davis, do the trade for Bradley Beal. It's going to be very difficult to do it in the reverse order just because of how the salary cap works, but just trust me on that. I do like Bradley Beal as a player, and this year, under very tough circumstances. Yes. Bradley Beal damn near made an All-NBA team. He actually was the first man off it, not Klay Thompson. He averaged 26 points a game. He played all 82 games for the second straight year. Now, that's also important because I don't think you want to ask LeBron to play 75 to 82 games in year 17. So for all those reasons, it'd be a good fit. But even in a Western Conference without Kevin Durant, what you would be asking yourself is LeBron James plus Bradley Beal, is Beal a good enough secondary option to compete for a championship? The only way in my mind he would be is if you do a great job filling out the rest of the roster. And do we trust Rob Pelinka and the Ramby to do that? I don't so much. So that's why I would trade Lonzo, but it would be having Beal be the centerpiece of my offseason would be a bit of a disappointment. Yeah, you can't do the Bradley Beal thing before you know what Kawhi and everyone else is going to do. Yep. Bradley Beal is a good plan C, but man, for LeBron James, let's not forget, the last 2 years, they tried to clear all that cap space. They landed LeBron James. How does that picture finish out? And Bradley Beal, to me, when you look at LeBron's coming to the Lakers, who's his sidekick? Bradley Beal. I like Bradley Beal's game, but it means that a number of other things have gone wrong. So, yes, if that is at the end of the summer, that's all they can do. I like him as a player, low maintenance, the 26 a game, 82 games that he played, and is a great defender. All those things are plus for the Lakers, but it will let you know, wow, a lot of stuff must have went wrong.
Exactly. All right, take a break. Coming up, do the Milwaukee Bucks need to blow up the roster and rebuild around Giannis? That's next on First Things First.
I try to get his